What's happening?
So also on the call is my brother Dominic. He's the co-host of the podcast. We appreciate you coming on the sixth episode of the Bridge to Bridge podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me. Mike,
Yeah.
John, appreciate y'all, man. Let's have fun with it.
So
for sure.
You and I have a mutual friend, Chad Chambers. You know Chad, right?
Yeah, he hit me up yesterday. He was like, "Oh, you about to be on the show?"
Yeah. So remember, you saw me and Curtis race in the parking lot after the Warriors game.
Y'all still probably feeling that one, huh?
We need to ask you who you thought won the race.
And also, what was it like to see a giraffe with sneakers run through a parking lot?
Yo, I think Curtis won, dog. I'm surprised none of y'all didn't pull a hamstring or pop a roll an ankle or pop a Achilles or something like that, dog. That was hilarious. I was like, yo, what are they racing for?
Dude,
I think Curtis won though, dog.
As you know, it gets intense with the homies, and when a challenge comes up, we don't play games. We'll do the race right outside of the stadium.
Facts. That's how it goes, man.
That's WCAL fighting spirit right there.
What was that?
You guys got off to a good start, man. I think you got off to a good start, but then Curtis ended up taking the lead towards the end.
Yeah, well, he's also like 7'1", so he's got longer legs. Listen, man, we're really glad to have you on. If you could do me a quick favor for those crazy people who don't know who you are, introduce yourself and tell us, what you do for a living.
Okay, for sure. For everybody that doesn't know, I'm Aaron Gordon. I play for the Orlando Magic, 00. I play ball for a living. I ball every day.
And you're playing in the NBA, right?
Playing in the NBA, man. Lifelong dream.
So we know that you grew up in San Jose. You're a Bay Area native, and that's primarily the reason why I wanted to have you on. Quickly, give us some insight into growing up in San Jose and a little bit of understanding of what life was like with family. I know your folks both were athletes, and you're pretty close with your folks, and just looking to give you a little insight, give us a little insight on that.
Yeah, okay. Growing up in San Jose it was great, man. It was great. It was a Silicon Valley. My mom worked a tech job, so she was a computer scientist. And so because she was a computer scientist, we got all like the latest tech, It's like we got like VR headgear before VR headgear was VR headgear. She would bring home like projectors before projectors were big, and we would like have movie nights on the wall. So it was like really dope just to be a part of that and kind of grow up in the middle of Silicon Valley. It was competitive, in our family, between my brother, myself, and my sister. We're always jockeying for attention or going at each other's necks on the basketball court. And we're always looking out for each other. We're a clique. And that's really how I got along in San Jose, with my family and some of my friends that I grew up with since I was like 5-6 years old.
Did you grow up playing a lot of basketball as a young kid? I mean, where was the passion for basketball? I know you did some track and field as well. Where was the excitement for basketball? Was that coming from your mom and dad as well?
Yeah, man, we grew up, there was a basketball in our hands all the time, since from as far back as I can remember, I had a basketball in my hand. My dad played at San Diego State, and then he played pro ball in Mexico. My brother, he's still playing. He's playing in Russia right now. He played at UCLA and then in New Mexico. Won Mountain West Conference Player of the Year. Played with the Sixers for a little bit. My sister played at Harvard, and my family has just been basketball like since day one. We
Right.
played a bunch of other sports. Like we played hockey out in San Jose.
Right.
I don't think a lot of people know that. Like I know how to skate.
Right.
That's a nightmare check coming at you, just boom into the glass. Yeah, man. Hey, were you an older brother or younger brother?
I'm the baby of the family, so I got an older brother and older sister. So they was beating the hell out of me every day.
So how long, at what point, there's a little something. Mike is a middle brother. We have one more younger brother, and there's something called like the older brother mental edge, right? Where like, it doesn't matter how good you get. There's something that happens. The fear of being beat down by your older brother, it lasts many years. So when did you get to the point where you were like, yo, my older brother, like, I mean, I'm just at a level that is, unreachable, and broke that, that block? Because I know it's a real thing.
Yeah, no, it is, man. It is. The sibling psychology, man. There's tons and tons of literature on the psychology of being the oldest or the middle or the youngest. It goes on and on and on. We live that every day. It's still there. It's still there. The competitive nature is always going to be there. But yeah, I mean, it used to be on site. Me and my brother used to fight on site. Like, we would see each other. He would come home from college, or I would come home from a trip and be on site. We'd be fighting. We'd be rolling around in the front yard or backyard, just fighting each other. And we got to a point where it was like, okay, we got to make this money, because the fights were getting a little too aggressive. They're getting a little too heavy. So we got to make this money and put the pride aside and be better for each other.
One time I played Mike coming back home, and he was way better than me, and I just happened to be, I was going 7, 8 for 10 from three land, and he said, quote, on the court, "You're cheap. All you do is hit threes." And I was like, bro, there's a reward for shooting past the 3-point line. You get 3 points. I didn't make the game. And he was upset, and that game ended in, near violence, but we got through it. The sibling rivalry is crazy. Man.
That sounds like me and my bigger sister. When we would play one-on-one when I was younger, all she would do was just back me down. Like, boom, boom, put me in the post, big pivot, elbow to the side of the head, layup. I'm like, man, all you do is just back me down. But like, so I understand where you're coming from, Mike. You want them to work on their game, but they're going after it. They're killers,
Dom,
they made us the killers that we are.
When we were younger, we had a hoop, and Dom would say, go for the dunk, go for the layup. I'll give you the free dunk. And as a little kid, it was the most exciting thing for me. I felt good. I'm going to the rim, getting ready to dunk it to give me the point, and he would swap my shit out of the stadium, bro. Like, and I'd start crying. Like, it was always a battle with us. We have a little brother, Danny, who's he's a D1. He was a D1 football player, offensive lineman, 6'6", beast. And for me, being the middle child, I mean, bro, I was sandwiched between two. Dominic's 6'6". He's a big guy. I'm 6'6", but I'm skinny, bro. I'm a twig.
That's a very generous 6'6" right there. Thank you.
On a good day.
On a good day. So you decided to go to Archbishop Mitty, and we're WCAL guys. We went to Sacred Heart. I think you put quite a few beatings down. Watching your high school highlight tape, it doesn't even look like it's like not even real to me, what you were doing in that league. Tell us a little bit about playing at Mitty, and kind of, I know you also play for the Soldiers as well, and they're really close to my heart too. You've got this, the Soldier Stadium is named after you in Oakland. Give us a little insight to playing in the WCAL before you went to college.
Yeah, well, I have been watching my brother and sister play in the WCAL, for some time growing up. So I have been running around Mitty at all the basketball games, under the bleachers, just causing havoc, man. So once I finally got to Mitty, I felt real comfortable. It felt like home already. I had a great coach in Tim Kennedy, and basically he knew he saw my potential. He gave me the ball and he let me rock. And from there it was just history. I just felt real comfortable there. We had some great players, some great teammates. It's a good brand of basketball. We learned a lot. WCAL basketball is really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's smart. It's smart and it's tough. And that was like a really good league to play in. Like Sacred Heart, y'all are tough all the time. It just it came together. It came together my sophomore year. You know, I realized like, okay, I can do this. I can really make this happen. And then that's where I took off from that freshman to sophomore year. And yeah, and it was great. Then going out and playing with the Soldiers and then playing with that high level of talent,
Man,
out in Oakland. And then coming back to San Jose made everything else look like cake.
Who were some of the bigger battles, in the WCL? I know you got Bellarmine, you got Sarah, St. Ignatius, a lot of can you speak on that on some of your bigger battles or memorable games where or winning WCAL championships, et cetera,
state championship.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a battle every night in the WCIL. You know, I think there was only a couple of teams that never really got wins, like Valley Christian. Valley Christian never won. SI would even work. They had Stephen Domingo for a time.
Yeah.
Trevor Dunbar for a time. Let's see, Sacred Heart was always a battle. St. Francis was a battle. You know, they had Tyler Johnson.
St. Francis always had the tight end. I don't know if they still run that. They always get the tight end from the football team, and they're like, just bang everyone out there, and that person just carving through. They always keep like some monstrous tight end on there. You're like, bro, where did they find this dude, man?
That's valid, dude. He always used every single one of his fouls.
Yeah.
So you kind of grew in the playing for the Soldiers. I know recently they named that court after you at Soldier Town. What was that like, them paying homage to you as a player and being a part of that whole process that went down?
It's just beautiful, man. It's just an incredible honor, because there's been so many highly touted ball players that came out of Oakland, California, and just came out of that program, I don't know if people know that, like, Bronny was a Soldier.
Right.
LeBron was a Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Leon Poe was a Soldier. I think I'm not sure. It might have been Kendrick Perkins was a Soldier.
A lot of big players.
A lot of big players, man. A lot of big players came out of there, and it's just nice to be recognized. I just got to keep going and keep playing. So finally, I could come back and get back.
Right.
Keep elevate my game, elevate my platform, keep being a role model for these kids, and for the next wave of hoopers.
Yeah, man. So I really like that you bring that up, because I know, Mark, Mark Oliver and or Olivia and Sam Moses over there, and we play open gym there 3 times a week. That's my favorite court, and I love. Yeah. I think it's so dope seeing your name on the court floor there, and I certainly agree that it's the highest honor, most definitely. So after playing in the WCAL and at Mitty, you decide to commit to the University of Arizona. I think you were there with Brandon Ashley, right?
Yeah. So
is he a close buddy of yours?
Yeah, BS. That's my brother, man. Ashley, that's my brother. And he's still working. He's still fighting. He's been in the league. He has a couple stints with the Mavericks, a couple stints with some other teams going overseas. And I think there's still a spot for him in the NBA. So he got to just keep working. That was Arizona was interesting, man. I really thought I was gonna go straight out of high school. That was the plan. I think out of my sophomore year, it was looking like that was the case. And then they changed the rule to that one and done.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay, well, let me figure out a place that's gonna fit. We had a bunch of Soldiers and Hoosiers in Arizona, and then I think T.J. McConnell was probably the icing on the cake at Arizona. Seeing him play, he was gray shirting, I think.
Right.
I was like, oh, he's torching people, so I get to play with him as a point guard. Oh, we good. Let's
right. So did you feel like while you were there in that year that your game elevated to a different level?
No, not really. Not really. I think I learned more about playing like with other great players, with other really good players, and that's a huge part of the NBA. Being able find your role. Find your role amongst other players that can ball. Coming out of high school, everybody was a man out of high school in the NBA.
Right.
Everybody had the ball in their hands 24/7, making it crack. But what can you do when you have 4 other guys out there that are like you? And how do you fit in? So that part about Arizona really helped me out a lot. And Coach Miller, just seeing how dedicated he was to the craft. And then it's just kind of skill sets. I felt like I was real raw, but I felt like I was ready out of high school.
Hey, you mentioned sophomore year in high school was a moment that kind of clicked for you. I mean, dreams and aspirations wise, what was that the point sophomore year where you said, "Hey, I'm going to be in the league," and or if that wasn't the point, where was that point where it hit for you, like, "Hey, I'm going to the NBA," and additionally, how did your work ethic, as far as the hours you were putting in on some of the more tedious stuff, all the fundamentals and things like that, where you said, "Hey, I'm going and I'm not looking back"?
Oh man, I've always had that confidence, from the moment I touched the ball, man. I just figured, the NBA was like somewhere that if you're good enough at basketball, that's where you go. You go play there,
Mm-hmm.
And so I always kind of had that in the back of my mind. And coming out of San Jose, there weren't all that great of ball players. The talent level was kind of okay, But in 6th grade, me and my homie, uh, we played this team. I think it was called Ida Price, and the score was 32-29. And I had 29 points, and my homie had the other 2 points. So 31. It's 31-29. So I had 29. My homie had the other 2 points, and Ida Price had 29. And we won. I was like, okay, hold up. I might be onto something. I might be all right. I might be able to do so. I might be able to make it. And then, you got to step out of just San Jose, go to Oakland, go to Frisco, Vallejo, go down to SAC, go down to LA, San Diego. You start to see that the world is big. The game of ball is big. So you got to start going through all those, like the Pangos camps. You got to go through the hacks. It used to be a hacks. You got to go through the
Pro-Am.
The Pro-Ams. You got to go through the Pro-Ams. You got to go through the Nike Jamborees. You got to go through the LeBron camps. They canceled ABCD camps, but you got to go through the Elite 24. There's like a lot more to it. But I think from that young age, it kind of that sparked me to where it's like, okay, I can do this. I can do this.
And how the nerves, like, hey, I remember nerves before a big game. I mean, how do you deal with nerves? Have you always had enough confidence knowing, hey, 29 points out of 31, right? When you go into the next game, you're like, I'm going to do something here. It's just a matter of, how much am I, were you always very confident and kind of like nerves were steady going into some of those bigger games where, people are looking at you like, hey, I want to see, what this dude has. And I'm looking close.
Yeah. I think a big part of the confidence is being consistent, so it's easy for you to kill like lesser competition, you know what I mean, to look good when the competition isn't so good. But it's a whole different story when everybody else around you is 5-star recruit or D1 bound or league bound or something like that,
Right.
and then what do you do? And I just developed that killer taste when I was young. So anytime I see like the greatest in the world, when I see the LeBrons, when I see the KDs, when I see the Kyries, when I see anybody that is highly touted, like I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm picking up full court. I'm about that action. So I developed that as a kid. Going through and doing my meditations, positive affirmations, staying as level-headed as you can, and then just letting it rip, going out there and give it everything that you got, and don't worry about what other people are going to say.
Yeah. In 2017, I went through a real tough time, and meditation was key for me. And I'm like a full-blown ADHD hyperactive kid. I probably should have been put in a straitjacket as a kid. because I was such a crazy person, and I didn't even understand the importance of meditation and how it can really help you. If you can just sit back and breathe for 15 to 30 minutes, you can really learn to calm the nerves and focus. And so it's definitely dope to hear someone like you who's at such a high caliber, talk about that. Dom definitely brings up some good points. I'm curious as to kind of like what the pressure's like, having, your older brother, your dad and mom all be, standout athletes. Did you feel like there was a lot of pressure, and at what point did you stop caring?
Man, I didn't really feel a ton of pressure. I felt like the most pressure I felt at an early stage was probably when I first stepped into Mitty my freshman year. I wanted to do so well. It was the first time I had played against guys that were 4 or 5 years older than me. And that's when I felt the pressure. And then after I got over that, it kind of subsided. At the end of the day, it's just basketball. So there's other pressures in life. So my mom's retired. Got my granny out of debt. I know I say that all the time, but it's like one of my biggest accomplishments. About my pops a whip. I got a house for my family, bought my childhood home. So like everything else is just icing on the cake now. It's the pressure. It's not really there anymore. The only pressure I have is the pressure I put on myself.
Right.
Wanting to go win a championship. Wanting to be that all-star. Wanting to be the best player that I could possibly be, the player that everybody knows I could be. So the only pressure I put on myself is just fulfilling my potential.
I know, Mike, I know we're going to get into that transition from Arizona to the league, but I know you mentioned start to become successful and stuff like that. Hey, I always think of He Got Game, when everyone's coming at him like, hey man, and so family, of course, family is different, but is there some real truth to folks, friends and stuff that maybe start to, as you become more successful, expectations and start thinking, oh, hey, or do you feel that that's more like, Hollywood movie where people usually have a healthy respect of like, hey, look, I'm not going to cross that line as far as like what you have and what you've earned and all that.
That's on point. He Got Game. Spike did it well. Ray, Jesus, Denzel, they did it to a T, man. It's on point. Pretty much that whole movie. Kind of a messed up ending, but no, the kind of like the principles though they're on point, man. They're on point. Behind like the women that want you for what you have and not who you are. There's cousins, friends of friends, schoolmates that you went to in elementary school that are coming out of the woodworks asking you for hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest in whatever commodity that they're looking for right now. You get the death threats; those are real.
Damn.
It's a lot that comes with it, man. There's a lot that comes with this. There's people that feel like they deserve a piece of your pie, everything that you worked for.
Yeah.
And it's not the case. The best thing I could tell young ballers is learn how to say no. As hard as it is to the women, say no to the women sometimes. If you see it's not right, don't go. If you feel it's not right, don't. Or even to your mom if she asking too much. It's hard to say no to mom. My grandma probably the only person in the world I'd never be able to say no to. And that's just from everything that she's gone through. But other than that, yeah, if you got to say no and sacrifice a couple of relationships, they'll come back around. If you got to just put them on the shelf for right now, leave them there, continue to focus on your craft, and then they'll come back around and be like, okay, I see what you were doing there. Like, I understand everything that's going on,
Yeah. Set those boundaries.
Yeah.
Aaron, you still there? Oh, there you are. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I mean, Dom and I, we have some friends in the league. I never try to ask for stuff, and I always offer to pay when we're out. And it's just like, it's not, it's not about trying to take advantage of that person. They're just, it's their job. They're working hard just like you are. And I definitely have seen that happen in person, and it's just crazy to think that people see that as an opportunity to take advantage of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That being said, AG, I looked online, and actually me and you are distant relatives. I'll call you after the show. We're related. I'll hit you up. You never
You got
believe
some?
this. I found it, man. I got a link, and it's crazy, but no, I'm just joking.
So,
all right, I'll have my people talk to your people. We can get in
yeah,
touch. You know what I'm saying?
for sure, man.
That's a big talking point too. Like when somebody does come to you with something like that,
Yeah.
you gotta send them to somebody. Be like, okay, like
We're
that's
gonna
cool.
spot
Like,
check that.
yeah, you gotta have somebody in your corner that'll kind of do the due diligence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because who knows what you bringing me? It could be like the next big. You know what I mean? It might hit. It might not, but it might hit. But okay, I see you, fam. Let's talk about it later.
I might bring that fidget spinner and be like, yo, you got to invest in this right here. And you're like, what is that? And you're like, boom. And then all of a sudden, what? Yep, it hit.
Right.
Yeah.
So after your year at AZ, you decided to go into the league. I know Calvin is your agent. Did you sign with him? Was he the first agent that you signed with? And tell us a little bit about your relationship with Calvin. He's a great guy. I actually met him at that Warriors game. And Sam Moses ended up putting us into connection to get you on the podcast. But, in the little that I've dealt with Calvin, he's just been a pleasure to work alongside.
Oh, yeah. Calvin's an angel, bro. He's a Bay Area angel. So he's guided me basketball-wise, just from being around, giving me little pointers here and there. And, he's just really looked out for my whole family. And it's stupid that these younger kids, like high schoolers, they can't have agents because of the NCAA, and it will turn them professional if they have agents, and then you can't play in the NCAA or something like that. That's just dumb. These kids need guidance out here, man. Especially these ball players, young ball players. Someone is fortunate to come from 2-parent homes, and they need guidance. And the NCAA isn't allowing them to do that so they can reap the benefits later on. And Calvin was kind of just around. He'd been around. He was working with my brother out of college too, so we had that pre-existing relationship. He just looked out, man. He made sure that I never took a misstep. It wasn't ever too risky, the gambles. It was real solid, and it got me to where I am. We're still like this. You know what I mean? We're like this. He's gone on. I think so he started a new agency called SAI,
right?
Serving athletes with integrity. And I think he has something else in the works right now. It might have been put on the shelf because of Corona. But I think he's working on something else too.
Yeah, I'm certainly pumped that I made that connect there. We're certainly going to try to get him on the podcast soon, because his story in itself is definitely a dope one. I was kind of looking at his LinkedIn, and I was talking to him about getting you on, and I was like, damn, this guy is definitely someone that I should have on as well. So you get drafted by the Magic, and he did that first deal for you. He was your first agent.
Yeah. So we got drafted by the Magic. I thought I was going 7 to LA. 7. I thought I was going 7 to the Lakers. And then he came to the table and he was like, guys, don't tell anybody. And this was before this started happening. Like, you're going top 5, you're going number 4 to Orlando. I was like, oh shit, I'm going top 5. That's what's up. And I was just so geeked, man. He had been looking out, and he continues to look out. And we make money together.
It's a strong relationship, the business side and all that. You got to hit him with one of the, when you get an interview one time, you got to hit him where you forget him on purpose and you go, hold on, I'm forgetting someone. My agent, Calvin. out of the like a Jerry Maguire moment. But we were talking to Bob a lot, man, and those relationships between agent and player, that's serious, because it's you're handling your craft and playing and handling stuff, and they're handling business dealings and doing the best for you, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it really is, man. And he's a different type of cat. He's just a genuine guy. He's just a good person. And you don't see that a lot in that field, and being an agency, And so he learned from Bill Duffy and out of BDA. And Bill Duffy's one of those guys too, really big on energy, really big on karma and making sure everything, what goes around comes around.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he really rubbed off on him because there's a lot of shaky, janky agents out there.
Right.
Yeah, real suspect that are just looking out for themselves, looking out for their own pockets,
mm-hmm.
and not telling you like it is.
Well, why do you think there's so much hype and like I mean, we see guys that aren't in the top 10 come out of nowhere and they end up being really dominant in the league. I mean, why? I mean, I know that it is the showcase, of guys coming out of college, but there's got to be so much emotion and pressure around being picked in the top 10. Why do you think that is? Is it the social mediaization of the Instagramification of the NBA? Like, if you're not looked at as
those are some E40 words right there. You said Instagramification. That's E40 Fonzarelchen territory.
That's Ebonics, yeah.
You get what I'm saying, though.
I do exactly what you're saying. You're straight from the town with that one, man.
So, I mean, what do you think? I mean, why is there so much like hype? I mean, you get to the NBA, it's unreal. Like for me, if I was picked, if I wasn't picked and I made it to the league, I'd be just as happy.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give credit to anybody that's laced their shoes up and gone on the court in an NBA game. That's sick. So I guess it's just you want to prove, man. You want to prove the naysayers wrong. You want to prove everybody that picked you right. So and then it's the competitive nature and the lottery as well. All the people that are picked before you, you're at them, and then all the people that picked after you, they're at you.
Right.
So it's nonstop. It's nonstop, and I think that's where it comes from. It's just that jockeying for position, because I mean, as ball players, we barely ever forget what happens on the court.
Right.
So like we remember pretty much everything when it happens out there.
Just like you said, I remember every time Dom swapped me, which is why I get so mental on the court when we play. So yeah.
If that's taking up all your memory, how many times I swatted you, you don't have much to learn other stuff, because that's infinity right there.
I mean, I have to ask, because you're definitely our biggest athlete that we're going to have on the show so far. But what's that first, $1 million big check like? I mean, it's got to be a pretty insane feeling.
Man, the first $1 million check, man. That was let's see here, what I get. I got a condo, but I just rented it. I got a Jaguar. So that was fire. XJL.
Portfolio, old school portfolio, or a new one?
I said I wanted to get the old school joint. I wanted to get the old school.
The T Grizzly Jag portfolio. That's
the one I wanted. Bro. That's thorough, bro. I knew what I was doing, but Cal was like, "Nah, man, you should probably just go with the new school." Nah, man, AG, you probably just gonna want to get the new school, man. You go ahead and get that new school, be all right, probably be a better look. But I wanted the old school joint, man. But I caught that Jag, and then let's see, I got my grand the other day, and then I just invested the rest of it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to have money. My kids have money, and hopefully play enough ball and play well enough to where and invest well enough to where that's a reality.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pay my rent. I was furloughed because of COVID. So, but I get what you're saying. I'm on my way with this podcast. Best believe that.
Feel it, bro.
Hey, so going into first year, rookie year in the league, and kind of like that first game in the first season, some of the challenges, some of the highlights. I mean, we know some of the highlights, and I know we're going to get into those. But But how would you, just without getting way into it, describe that first year and the ride, and what it meant to you?
Whew. I felt like like a skinny chicken running with his head cut off. I couldn't guard nobody really. I didn't really know how to play the game. I didn't know how to play the game. Like one of my favorite stories is when I had to guard Paul Pierce for the first time. And the truth, you know what I mean? He was slow. It was at the end of his career, not fast. And I was one of the best athletes in the league. Even coming in, just with how fast I ran, how high I jumped, how agile I was. Being able to guard. 1 through 3.5, 4 at that time, because there were still big men. There were still big 4s and big 5s. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
6 years ago. So I wasn't strong enough to guard 5s. Was kind of strong enough to guard 4s. But then I got stuck on Paul, and I was like, okay, I'm about to, I'm fast. I'm about to lock him up.
Yeah.
And Paul was out there playing chess, man. He came off it was kind of like an X screen. So you can either go to the block or you can come up to the top. And he lost me so crazy. And I was all the way on the block, and he was shooting a wide open 3 at the top. And I was like, oh, okay, it's a whole different game. It's the pace is different. The swagger to it is different. Just the strength of it, the athleticism of it was different. But I was just running around there, like, just trying to make plays, just be a playmaker. That's what I was thinking. Be a defender and be a playmaker.
Yeah.
For all the young guys watching this, all the young ball players watching this, just find a niche. Find a niche in the league. Find a niche whatever team you're on right now. Find a niche. Find what you do and do it well, and then build everything from around that. My niche was defense. So I could play defense. I couldn't think the game yet. So now that I'm thinking the game, our defense is better. It's even better.
It's like you ever see, when you talk about Paul Pierce being a veteran, you ever see an old man play racquetball, right? I remember being a younger dude playing an old timer like 55, and they're just sending you all around the court, and you're running after everything, right? But they make all the right moves. They step to the right, they crush you. I'm like, this is a 55-year-old dude that, and I'm 20 something, I'm getting worked. But knowing the game, I mean, how much about the NBA is not wasting steps, where at, WCAL college, your feet moving, you're shuffling, like, all right, ball on ball on ball. And then in the league, you have veterans that have been playing for, a decade, and they're not wasting. They know everything is with intent. And did you find that learning curve was steep as far as just how the game moved, and how is it different from college and all that?
Yeah, it's a whole different game. It's just to be as efficient as possible, score as quick as you can and efficiently as possible. And it's simple. We grew up playing NBA Street. It was hella dribbles, game breakers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Crossing people, get to the rack, bring them back out, and cross them again. Get to the rack, bring them back out, cross them again, and then shoot a J. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And that's not what the league is about. Like, people think that's like the league. That's not the league, man. I still see kids playing one-on-one right now with like 19 dribbles, and it's like, nah, that's either a shot clock violation, you getting ripped, or you get locked up.
3 dribbles max, bro. That's how I play one-on-one.
Facts. 3 dribbles max, 4 dribbles maybe, but 3 dribbles max. Because everybody in the NBA is so good. If you give them 3 dribbles, they're hard to stop, bro.
Yeah.
I played Ben Gordon, like my rookie and sophomore year, in one-on-one after practice. If you give him 3 dribbles, he's on the other side of the court. You know what I mean? And hit you with a pump fake and a hezzy. Like, it's different. I remember after like my 3rd year being in the league, I went back to play at like the park out in Venice, and everybody was back on their hot sauce. Everybody was back on the NBA Street, and I was just shooting 1 dribble pull-ups. 1 dribble pull up, 1 dribble pull up. Everyone was waiting for me to do something crazy. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was like, oh yeah, it's a different game. It's like, it's simple, it's easy, boring. 1 dribble pull up, 1 dribble pull up.
It's different, bro. So in 15-16, man, I got to get to this because in my opinion, you're the greatest dunker ever.
Thank you.
Well, Mike, I thought I was the greatest dunker.
No. You Dunkin'
Come on,
Donuts.
bro.
You Dunkin'
I
Donuts.
dunked one time. I dunked in a street court. I did a little one arm. Was called like the Barry.
The
Yeah,
tapping.
yeah.
So you're prepping for the dunk contest. I feel like people think that you guys just go out there and dunk. Like tell us a little bit about the process of getting ready for the dunk contest. I was actually in Chicago last year for the All-Star game and was at that dunk contest. And, I'm still upset about it. As is Chad Chambers. I mean, you should have seen him in the text messages. He was going off. But
I already know.
tell us a little about, prepping for the dunk contest and how that whole process works.
Okay, so you don't want to go out there and just look stupid, At least I didn't, Some people go out there, they just wing it, just natural athletes. But me, I think it's a show, So I want to go out there, be successful, do my dunks. Plus, I don't want to disrespect the dunk contest not one bit. You know what I mean? From everything that I've seen growing up, it's not something to trifle with.
Right.
And it was just going through a lot of YouTube, a lot of Instagram, people sending me everything that all the professional dunkers have done, from Joy Killigan to Sutherland, to Chris Staples, to Michael Purdy, to Worm, just a ton of dunkers. NBA Street Dunks, just like the collective of all the super dope dunks that have ever happened.
Right.
Everybody has ever witnessed. NBA Live, you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Dunk contest, you remember that game? NBA Live dunk contest, that was lit.
And they had the announcers, right? The same announcers on that game, I think.
Yeah. And it was just all that just kind of embodied. I went to the court, I went to Amway and just started working on some shit that I just wanted to do something that had never been done before, because I think 2015 and from 2008 and 2009 to 2014 and 15, the dunk contest was going downhill.
Yeah, you saved it. You and Zach definitely brought a different level that was missing. As an NBA fan, I will definitely agree with that.
I think so too. I think so too.
I'll tell you one thing. I got one for you. We may have to edit this part out of the show because I don't want someone to steal it. But I've always had this idea for the dunk contest. I just don't have the skill. But I think this could break the internet. This one. Check this one out. No one's done this one before. Getting a basketball that's a medicine ball, weighted ball, bringing a scale out, weighing it, and then doing something where this is not a regular ball. It's got weight to it. Slamming it, gone, dude. Just keep it for the back pocket. Just keep it for the back pocket.
Oh, man, I don't think that's going to come across well enough on TV.
Yeah, they will. Well, you'd have to weigh it and show, you need Shaq to weigh it and be like, all right, I verified this is an 8-pound medicine ball, but yeah, you're right. It might break the rim too. So we're gonna go back to the lab on that one. But you got any? I mean, do you find yourself kind of like sitting there thinking like, all right, man, I got one for the next contest that's gonna be like?
I think he said he's done.
That's it.
It's over.
Damn.
I'm dunking on people.
That's what I like.
From here on out, no more show dunks unless I get a breakaway.
Unless they pay you a stack.
Yeah, right. Got to be a grip. I'll do travel and dunk contests around the nation, around the world. I'll go and do dunk contests. I'll set up dunk contests between myself and the country or the city's best dunkers,
dude,
and make a grip off that. But other than that,
I'm watching that shit.
Yeah, that'd be lit, huh?
It would be for sure. We'll talk to Calvin. We'll talk to Calvin about this off the record.
We get something going.
Last few questions, just a little bit about the bubble, and then Dom has a little lightning round. We do this lightning round at the end where we ask you these questions to see. We test your Bay Area knowledge, but can you just give us?
Y'all never believe this. Keith Bogus just pulled up to the crib.
No way.
Yeah, hey, on the lake, man.
Nice.
I don't know if you want me to get blasted out like that, but I got to, man. It's so dope, bro.
Do it.
The OG coming to check on me, man.
Yeah.
Let me blast him real quick.
All right.
Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah, he just pulled up. Y'all see him out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just pulled up. Oh, the OG about to come drop some game on me.
Can you just give us an inside scoop on what it was like playing in the bubble? You know, was it weird not having the fans around? You know, give us a little insight to the bubble and what it's like on the psyche and the mental game.
Man, it was tough. It was tough for me, man. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was tough for me just because I got hurt in that Toronto game. And so I was in that bubble and I wasn't even playing. So, like, I had been working. What's up, bro? Yeah. Yeah, I was working and really wanted to, just help push Orlando into that second round. And then I got hurt against Toronto. It was tough, man. Just not being able to play ball, not being able to help my teammates in there. It wasn't enough. I think I played like 4 or 5 games in the bubble. I don't know, averaged around 18, got a couple wins, but it just wasn't enough. It didn't scratch the itch for me. So I'm hungry as ever. I thought the bubble was a beautiful representation of how great the NBA is and how organized it is and how forward it is, being able to put that together so quickly. And unlike any other, organization in America. So it was an incredible experience to be a part of that. It was dope, man. Everybody got together that was in there. We all had a meeting. We all talked to each other, and we talked about what needs to happen in terms of social justice and how the NBA can better use the platform. And it works. You know, we're opening up all the arenas for voting. So that's dope.
Yeah, I know you're active in that, and I've seen you kind of discuss some of those points. So it was certainly amazing to see them open up all the stadiums. You know, I think that's going to be huge.
AG, what do you think about LeBron's leadership, man? I mean, obviously, right? Just in him being vocal and active, it's been, how important has he been for the league as being a leader? For all the players, and I know he's involved in the union too. What does that mean to guys? And is he someone that is just always there as a mentor for people to reach out to?
LeBron has been just a great example for the league. From start to finish. He's never really been in trouble with the media. He's never really done anything that's damaged his reputation or damaged his name. He's created schools, or the school, the I Promise school. Mm-hmm. And then on the court, he continues to lead. He continues to dominate on the court, and that's just it's unprecedented. It's a great role model, man. Great role model. Hell of a ball player, and I hope he keeps playing so I can keep cracking on the Lakers, or we can keep cracking on the Lakers. I know they got us in the bubble. They did. They got us in the bubble, but we got them at Staples, and I think we got them in Orlando.
I look forward to seeing you dunk on LeBron. I'm just going to say that. So it ain't nothing. I love him as a role model, great player, but I certainly enjoy watching him lose as well. So
facts. Especially if he's playing the Magic. I love watching the Lakers lose.
Right. Hey, do you have time for this quick lightning round, or do you got to get going?
Oh no, I'm chilling, man. Let's get it.
Okay, so we're gonna make you're from the Bay Area, so you're eligible for this lightning round, and we're gonna get straight to the title. And so how we do it, the bridge to bridge title, we do a little Bay Area trivia, and Kareem Hard Hitter Mayfield, former boxer, is the current champion. Bob Myers came close; he got to the final round. And just lost on a very technical question. So these are tough, man. So don't feel bad; they're tough.
All right, let's see what I can do.
Okay, so we're going to start with regular season playoffs, championship round, and then MVP round. Okay, so for regular season, And these are going to center around, because I know you're a triple threat, right? You got, I've heard some of the tracks. You got the Uncle Drew. And so these are going to be sports, movie, and music. So first question. All right, this is a Bay Area rapper who is a Pisces, but would rather be a killer whale. They often goes Ayo for Yayo, and this is an artist formerly known as Dre Dog.
Yeah. It's not Nicotina, is it?
Nicotina. Woo, you got out of the first round, bro. I was scared. But you got out of the first round. You got out.
Let's go.
And he's a little bit older. Okay. Here's one for you, playoff round. Okay, what Bay Area hoop court that's previously hosted WCAL games and Pro-Am games is notorious for having extra Boeing in the floorboards?
Oh, that's Kezar all day.
Kezar.
Okay.
Boom.
Yeah,
Bam, right? Even Mike was dunking back on that one. I don't know how, but
Kezar got the Boeings.
okay. Championship round, legendary artist, and I mean legendary. So lived in Oakland, ran with Digital Underground, and was in a hoop movie where he famously said, quote, "You ain't going to college or any fucking where if the Birdman don't win. You might be on the other team, but you're playing for me." Name the actor and the movie.
Oh, man.
This is tough, dude. If you get this.
Lived in Oakland.
I seen that.
It's an old, I'm older, man. I'm like 36 out here. So like, I got these old school. Famous rapper, lived in Oakland. I'll give you one hint. Also lived in Marin City for a while. Ran with Digital Underground. And I mean famous rapper. You can't get higher than that.
Not 40.
No.
Hey, can I give him one more hint, Dom?
One more hint.
40 not even from Oakland.
This person is no longer alive.
Now, in a hoop movie, this was a hoop movie about basketball. And I know when I tell you the movie, you're going to know exactly who I'm talking about.
Oh, that's what's so annoying. Let's see here. Hoop movie. She's not going nowhere. He's not alive no longer.
Should I give him a song name to just give him a little juice?
Ran with Digital Underground. Digital Underground put him on.
Nah, I don't know.
Okay. This one. Okay, I'm going to give you one more hint. His nickname in the movie was Birdie.
Yeah, I don't know the date. I don't know. I'm not sure. I got to watch the movie tonight.
This is Above the Rim, starring Tupac, and he was the
damn, man. That's
he was
terrible, man. Pac, I'm
no,
sorry, boy. I'm sorry.
No. It's good, man. It's good, and we're gonna get Kareem dethroned. You got to watch the episode with Kareem Mayfield. He holds
the
title.
Champ.
Yeah,
he hit on. All right, well, I'm watching Above the Rim tonight. That's on me. You got to catch. That's one of the best ever.
Hey, G,
I don't think I've seen it in forever.
We really appreciate you coming on, man. Like, it really means a lot to me and Dominic. This is a grassroots podcast, and to have someone like you, bro, it's really means a lot to me.
And likewise, guys, it's just nice to talk to some Bay Area friendly faces, man. So I appreciate y'all having me on too.